Yeah.
Welcome to Modelz Talk. Let's talk about it.
Well. Yes. This is your girl Zahargi Hana with Modelz Talk, and we are going to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Miss Kim Hobbs, welcome.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome, love. I am so happy to have you on.
I'm happy to be here.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, let's just jump right into it, Miss Certified Wellness Coach, professional life coach,
Yes, ma'am.
and model, and
Yes.
host.
Yes.
Yes, honey. Give you all the accolades. Yes, now. All right. Talk to me. Tell me a little bit about you, Miss Kim.
Oh, what do you want to know? So like you said, I am a certified life and wellness coach. Um, I recently became a model and a host. And I don't know, I'm just enjoying life, enjoying where I am in life.
Mm-hmm.
I was married for 15 years. I've been divorced for 4. And so I will honestly say this is the best time of my life I'm living my best life now. Like
Really?
seriously. Yes, seriously.
Really? How old are you?
Yes. I'm 54.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes,
Welcome.
I am living. I'm a grandmother, but yes, I am living my best life now. Because I don't know, it's just life has just opened up, like
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, doors. I'm happy, like I'm so happy, and yeah, it took me 54 years. Well, not quite 54, maybe about 52 years, to kind of get here. Um, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade anything I've been through, anything I've gone through, um, because there are lessons there,
Mm-hmm.
and I've learned those lessons, and yeah, I'm living my best life.
Would you be willing to share a little bit of your story,
I can regarding what, like
your
the
life, and how you got to this point of happiness?
oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. I absolutely can do that. So, like most people, like everybody, I think in this world, we've all suffered some type of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, right? We have. And for me, mine started as a little girl being molested, um, and then in college being date raped,
Mm.
um, and from once the date rape happened when I was in college, I shut down.
Wow.
I shut down. Yeah, I became I don't know, I kind of lost who I was.
Did you
And
lose your voice? Did you lose your
I
voice?
lost my voice, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because, and I'm not. It used to be hard for me to talk about this because of the institution that I went to,
Mm-hmm.
but my institution knows now, and I've talked to some of the leaders at that institution, a few years back. So I'm okay to share this. So I went to an HBCU. I went to Fort Valley. I graduated from Fort Valley State University.
Okay.
And at the time that the incident happened, he was a football player, and he was being looked at by scouts.
Mm.
And with that was going to bring money to the institution.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, it could have ruined his career.
Right.
Now, when it happened, I blamed myself. Notice I said date rape.
Right.
I blamed myself because he invited me to his dorm and I went. I thought he liked me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he said we was going to watch movies, and watching movies didn't really happen. So when I tried to speak about it, I was told I could mess up the reputation of our institution, and I could mess up his career.
Wow.
And I would be the one that would be blamed because I went to his room. And at 18 years old, I believed that. I was like, they are going to blame me.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say I was fast. They're going to say, so I lost my voice. They took my voice.
Right.
So what happened is I internalized all of that from the trauma when I was a child to that happening. That was kind of like the nail in the coffin for me. And I just became this other person. Like I became this girl that just didn't care about life, really.
Mm-hmm.
I cared about life. I just didn't care about people. especially men. Like I lost respect for them. I didn't understand. Nobody protected me. So anyway, with that being said, I started an organization called Speak Sister, Your Voice Matters. And I started it right during the Me Too movement, because when the Me Too movement happened, if you remember, it took off.
Stop, hold that thought. Explain to us what the Me Too movement was.
So the Me Too movement was started, I forget her name, but it was started by a Black woman who shared her story. I can't remember, was it somebody famous that assaulted her? But she shared her story about being assaulted and being, violated. And from her sharing her story, it started like this trifecta effect. Women from everywhere, even celebrities and stuff, started sharing their story, and they quickly named it the Me Too movement, because other women were saying, "Oh my God, me too. Oh my God, me too. It happened to me too." So when that happened, I kind of was like, I think I'm ready. I had been journaling, putting all my thoughts and stuff, and I was starting to heal. I was starting to release some of the anger and the pain inside of me. So I was like, I think I'm ready. And I'm gonna tell you what happened. So I shared my story on Facebook.
Okay.
Now, I just told you I graduated from HBCU, so I'm friends with a lot of HBCU people, my roommates and everything. So I put it up, big old long story. I shared my story. I left it up for about 5 minutes, and I got scared, and I took it down.
Oh.
But something inside of me said, put that story back up and leave it. Shut your phone down, and don't you care about what nobody has to say. So I put my story back up. I did exactly that. I shut my phone down overnight. I said, I'm not going to care about what nobody has to say, because I was still kind of scared about negativity and about, what people, being judged or whatever. I'm not going to lie. It still brings me chills. When I opened up my phone the next day and I logged into Facebook, I had over 100 and something women, people that I went to school with, saying, "Oh my God, girl, me too."
Stop.
Like we were in school together, and it happened to you, and you didn't, like, we weren't sharing our stories.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, Lord, what do I do with this? And that's when he said, you start Speak Sister, because you need to help other women find their voice and they can share their stories. And so from that, I will tell you, that started me. When you release a lot of stuff that you've held in, it's like bricks are lifted off of you.
Yes.
And it's like I felt like this enormous weight being lifted off of me. And I don't know, I became this woman who kind of became fearless at that point. Like I wasn't scared anymore. And I just started telling my story. Like, anybody ask me, girl, what's your story? I can tell it. Before somebody say, what's your story? I'm like, I don't really have a story, but
was that because you were you afraid of what could be said?
I had always been afraid. In HBCU, I don't know how they are now, but when I was in college, HBCUs are typically like your Black families. What happens in the family stays in the family. So it was kind of like that for me. That's basically kind of what they said. What happened on this campus stays on this campus. Now I'm gonna tell you how it reversed on them. And I don't know if you remember this story, but this is right when I had first developed Speak Sister. And I was gonna go speak at my institution, but then COVID hit. But I don't, if you remember the AKA scandal at Fort Valley State University.
Yes.
And when that happened, I said, this is what happens when you believe in what happens in the family stays in the family. Because these girls were being assaulted, they were being used, they were being manipulated, all to pledge a sorority. And the institution, the leaders, some of them, I won't say all, I don't know, wanted to stay silent. Some people knew what was happening. You know what I'm saying? So when that happened, I said, well, God is real, number one.
Amen.
And what you reap is what you will sow at some point. And I'm like, that had to happen to bring this big scandal to this school. But when I wanted to share my story, when I needed to tell law enforcement or somebody what happened to me, you didn't want the scandal. And it was just little old me. It took a whole sorority and it went national.
Right.
to expose the secrets and things.
Right. I remember that going on. I have a vague memory of it, but I do remember that going on, and I do
Yeah,
remember the story.
yeah.
Um, did you feel like you were part of the catalyst that started all this to come out in the open
With my
with your
story.
story? Hmm.
No, I think the Me Too movement is what gave me the inspiration to do it. But I do think that when I shared mine, the people that I'm able to have an impact over in my community,
Hmm.
they were inspired as well. And so from there, I started going to speaking engagements, and I would speak about my story. And it's like miraculous what happens, because I've had women come up to me and they're like, oh my God, crying with tears in their eyes.
Hmm.
And they're like, oh my God, I haven't shared my story. My husband doesn't know my story, or, my children don't know my story. I even had one woman come up to me one time after I got through speaking, and she was like, um, did you ask for forgiveness from him? Did you need an apology from him?
Hmm.
And I told her, I said, I'll be honest, I don't even really remember his name, because it wasn't anything that was significant. It's not like we were in a relationship.
Right.
I thought we were just kind of getting to know each other. So I don't even really quite remember his name. I do, but don't.
Hmm.
um, he did go pro for a little while.
Hmm.
Um, but I told her, I said, no, I don't need an apology from him. God has forgiven anything that he could ever have done to me by freeing me from this. I said, the only thing that I pray about now, is that I hope something happens. I hope that he learned, so that by me being silent didn't allow him to hurt another woman. Because
Woman.
that is one of my fear. I'm like, me remaining silent, did it allow him to still abuse, you know?
Someone else.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand why you would feel that way, and I
Yeah.
can understand why you'd be afraid of that.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the premises of Models Talk. We're talking and giving you all a platform, giving us a platform in
Mhm.
order to be able to express yourselves, say what you need to say, and feel like you're in a safe zone where there are no repercussions for what you're saying. You're
Yeah.
able to speak about all the heinous acts that go on behind the scenes, and along with this crazy industry that we're in,
Mhm.
without having fear.
Mhm.
And if we don't talk about it, it won't come out in the light, and it won't change.
Yeah.
Because each one of us have our own story that could possibly impact someone else.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
this is why the Models Talks exist. Good,
Mhm.
bad, ugly, or indifferent. We
Mhm.
exist in order for models, producers, directors, backstage crew, whomever, to come
Mhm.
on the show and say and speak their piece. We need to stop that hiding in the background,
Mhm. Mhm.
and talking amongst ourselves barely about the good, bad, ugly, and indifferent.
Mhm.
Or talking behind the producer's back, or how things can be better, or talking behind a designer's back, or how this could be better. You know,
Mhm.
we can't change anything
Yeah.
if we don't openly discuss things.
Yeah.
And it is very preeminent to me to say, look, here's a platform, you guys. Come on, we can do panels, we do individuals. I don't
Mhm.
care if you're producing, I don't care if you're designing, I don't care if you're a model, I don't care if you're the friend of a model's, you
Mhm.
friend of a producer. I don't care who you are, what walk of life you come from. We need to talk about it. I can't
Mhm.
help you change it
Mhm.
if nobody knows.
And one thing I learned about being silent is more times than likely, not only are you not the only one that has gone through that, somebody really is waiting on you. Somebody
Mhm.
really does need you, so that they can get their strength to talk and speak, and be open about stuff. So yeah, I learned that.
Well, I'm glad that's a lesson that you learn and that you're sharing with others, and that I know for a fact that it has been a healing experience for you to be able to share your story.
Mm-hmm. It
I
definitely.
mean, I can see that all over you when I'm with you, and I notice your confidence, and that's a wonderful thing, Kim.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a beautiful model. You just coming into the industry? How do you find it?
I love it. I love it. But I will say, I think is who I'm working with. I think it's you guys. I think it's the designers.
Oh.
Because everybody welcomed me with open arms. Everybody was willing to help me, willing to show me, still willing to help me, and still willing to show me because I'm still learning. And I don't know, in another area, I don't know how that reception would have been. I just know in the Atlanta market, I love it because you guys have welcomed me, and I just feel like I already feel like family. I feel like we're a family.
Good.
As a matter of fact, the other day I was like, dang, I kind of miss my model family because we haven't done anything in a minute. So I was like, I'm kind of missing my model family.
I know. I get like that too.
Yeah.
I get like that too, where I'm missing my model sisters, and brothers,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay, wait a minute. I got to be doing something. Something's going on. Well, who's got what going on?
Yeah.
I need to get out on that runway. That's my happy place.
Yeah.
That is being on the runway, being in a commercial shoot, being, out there and helping you guys, and also doing my thing as Zahara, really is my happy zone. I'm walking my best dream right now. I am walking in, I'm a living, walking testimony to my dream right in this moment. And I'm getting ready to be 60 years old.
I know, and you look so good, and you
modeling.
Oh my God.
Thank you, baby. You do too. You don't look like, I thought you were in your 40s.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. What we say, black don't crack.
They don't crack, baby.
Black don't crack. But you look really good, sweetie. And I am so proud of you and what you have achieved in such a short period of time.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, you're putting in the work, and that's what it takes to be on top of your game in this industry. You got to put the work in, especially having the self-belief and confidence is first and foremost. You got to develop thick skin in this industry. I can't say that enough to people. You got to be like the water off the duck's back. You got to let you let it wash over you. You take in what you need and then let the rest go. Because everybody ain't for you.
Exactly.
Everybody ain't for you, and all information isn't for you either. Because we do have our haters out there, and it's quiet as it's kept. The people don't want to talk about the fact that we got haters. We do. I mean, it's not always a kumbaya moment.
Well, haters to me is such a negative connotation, and I don't like to really reside in negativity. So I flipped it and said I don't have haters, because haters aren't really haters. I have admirers who don't want to let me know that they admire me.
You
pretty much. You're not a hater, because if you're watching anything that I'm doing, and if it's making you feel any kind of way, you're not really hating. You're kind of slick wishing you could do what I'm doing. So you're an admirer.
Well, I can understand that's a good philosophy. That's a good way to look at it, but I like that term, haters. Let your haters be your motivators. I mean,
they are. But
it motivates me even more to keep stepping and doing. I will be the oldest Black female model in the history of the industry. I'm gonna be modeling in my wheelchair. Okay?
I know that's right.
I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna have my stiletto on. Baby, come on, put my stiletto on, cross my leg. Let's do this, because disabled people are being seen more and more and more on the runway. There's a category for everybody.
Everybody now. Everybody.
It's a wonderful thing to see. And I'm so glad that I've lived long enough to see
it. Yes.
See it come to fruition. Speaking of living long enough to see things happen, Kamala Harris. If you were to style Kamala Harris.
To style her?
What would you make her look like?
Oh my God. It depends on what type of event she's attending. What are we doing?
Representing the United States of America.
Because Kamala Harris, she's a little stiff to me, a little bit in her dress. She keeps it very conservative, which I understand. But right now she's a sister girl. So I'm like, you can put a little in it, because that's what we do as Black women. We put a little in anything that we do. So I don't know. I probably she could still do her dress suits or whatever, her pantsuits, but maybe accessorize with a little bit more jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, pull her hair up. Like she has the same hairstyle. I'm like, pull it up. Let's see your face. Let's do, maybe even change the color. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like
Add some
flair.
highlights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give you some flair. So just
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Yeah.
Well, I can see definitely accessorizing her with some jewelry or I could see her wearing the same suit, but maybe not a pantsuit, maybe a nice dress and, sheath dress with a jacket and bolero style, still in a suit, but
Mm-hmm.
a different type of
A
suit,
suit. Yeah.
not necessarily a pantsuit all the time,
Yeah.
especially with a box jacket because her frame is so small.
She's yeah.
So she kind of sometimes she looks a little
It
lost to
swallows
me
her. It
in her
swallows her.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously her suits are like a box of crayons. She got one in every color.
Yeah, she really
You
does.
know,
Yeah.
and I mean I understand that. I like to see her in, not she ain't gotta be in a stiletto or 4, 5, 6 inch heels, but put on a little heel height, you know,
Yeah.
just to say,
Show a
feminize it
little,
up a
maybe
little bit.
show a little leg,
Show a little leg.
yeah, show some
You ain't
legs.
got to go
Yeah.
all the knees and you ain't
Yeah.
got to have on the mini and what have you, but you can go midi,
Yeah.
MIDI, go
Mm-hmm.
midi length and show a calf, you know,
Exactly.
put some holes on, you
Mm-hmm.
which are back in style now, thank God. But put some holes on
Mm-hmm.
and put on a dress and a jacket
Mm-hmm.
and do your thing, do your
Mm-hmm.
presidential thing.
Yeah.
um I can see doing that. I think there's a plenty out here that would look at Kamala Harris and say, yeah, we could really up her game in the
Mm-hmm.
style area. They need to take a page from Michelle Obama, Jackie O.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah.
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 They
I'm
we need to
surprised
take
Michelle
a page.
ain't put a little, whispered in her ear a little bit, girl. Come on now. Come
Mm-hmm.
on.
Come
Come
on
on,
now.
girl.
Come
Come
on now. You coming through with the words, but
on.
we got
Mm-hmm.
to up the game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're on an international stage.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we could do a little something with her.
Yeah, I agree.
So, who do you see in the future being your inspiration?
In the future, being my inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. Well, I will say that there are plenty of people that I'm inspired by that I follow or that I listen to. Michelle Obama being one of them,
Mm-hmm.
Barack being one. Oprah used to be. Oprah still kind of is, but I don't. She's a little on something else right now. But Oprah. Um, so I don't know if I have one particular one. I will
It
tell
doesn't have
you,
to be
like,
one. It could be multiples.
I used to sell jewelry. I used to work for Dr. Tracy Lynn.
Okay.
And she had a huge impact on my life. Um, she is a very successful woman,
Mm-hmm.
Black woman, that started her jewelry business when she was, I think, 18, and she was a millionaire by the time she was 21.
Mm.
Or she had made her first million, because she's like, surpassed just millionaire. But I think she made her first million at the age of 21. And from there she branched out and she started bringing in other people to help make them successful. And hence I joined her company. But she's just now starting to like really get no recognition and notice or whatever, like a celebrity on a celebrity level.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was working with her, she was so impactful on my life. And this is somebody I've met in person. Like right now, I think she's out of reach now. I'm not even sure if I could,
Right.
be face to face or shake her hand, hug her neck right now. But at the time when I worked for her, she was very much in reach, but she had thousands of followers even then. But she is a very inspirational, motivational speaker. Just an enormous knowledge of just wealth and how to acquire wealth and how to break generational curses, regarding wealth and that kind of stuff. She's had a huge impact on my life, and I still love following her. I share some of her stuff to this day. Like, I really love Dr. Tracy Lynn. She is a magnificent woman based out of Florida. She's in Tampa.
She's in Tampa. Okay. I was going to say, where's she based at so
Yep.
that people can follow her, and try to
Yep.
have a
Her
safe
name is Dr.
relationship.
Tracy Lynn. She's not necessarily in the jewelry business anymore. She's in real estate now.
Mm-hmm.
So she's doing some stuff in real estate, but her impact has reached so much that her speaking engagements, like she's speaking, she was just at Keon Henderson's church maybe a couple of months or so ago. She spoke at his church.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like really gaining,
More
her status,
popularity.
more popularity and stuff. But yeah, she's
Is it Tracey or CI?
CI, Dr. TRACILYNN, Dr. Tracy Lynn.
Okay, well, I need to look her up myself.
Yeah, yeah, phenomenal woman.
So I'm assuming she's a phenomenal speaker as well.
Oh yes, yes. She actually helped me to develop my speaking skills, and I'm still working on it. But yeah, she's a huge motivational speaker, like high impact.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she helped me to kind of, when I started Speak Sister, she helped me to kind of, get out there and kind of get, to speaking in front of hundreds of people.
Mm-hmm. So when you started Speak Sister, and you also connected it to Speak Brother.
Brother Speak.
But Brother Speak. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. I looked at my notes wrong. Brother Speak as well.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find that as a female speaker and motivational individual to speak to your brothers out there, and were they receptive?
They are. So I have a guy that is over the Brother Speak. Excuse me. He's over the Brother Speak aspect of it. So he's more responsible for bringing in the guys and that kind of stuff, getting them, to share their stories and use their voice as well. But after having Speak Sister, for I forget how many years, but I had it for a while, and I was like, something hit me, and I was like, I want to impact my whole community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just impact women. I've been doing this, and more women are feeling more comfortable with sharing their stories. We're seeing women excelling, because they're starting to share their stories, and you're starting to see more women like, doing things, walking in their purpose, so to speak, because,
Right.
they're sharing their stories and stuff. And I was like, but what about our men? And I was like, I want to help our men too. And I was like, but I'm not a man. So I just prayed to God, and I was like, I want Brother Speak, but you have to bring me the man. You have to show me who that man is that can help see the vision the way I see it and the way you want it to be brought out. And he linked me with this guy named Larry Penton. We call him LP. And he became the face of Brother Speak.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That should be very humbling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that was very humbling to you when your prayers were actually answered and you were able to connect with somebody that did see the vision and see the worth that you were bringing to the set, to the culture of people that we are, and you wanted to see some changes happen for the brothers as well as not just the sisters, but the brothers as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know that had to be a very humbling experience.
It was. It's always humbling when I see God work.
Amen.
Yeah, it's always humbling because I'm always left in a state of awe whenever he works. I'm like, oh, you did that, like only you. So yeah.
Okay. You also did something else with Sister Speak, or Speak Sister and Speak Brother. You created a journal.
I created 3 journals.
Okay,
I have 3 journals, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So tell me about the journals.
Okay, so when I started trying to, go on this healing journey, trying to, get through this trauma, trying to, better myself, become a better person. My ex-husband, he suggested that I started journaling. He was like, you like to write, and I do. I love writing. He was like, you like to write. He was like, it's a lot of stuff that you still won't share with me. So he was like, why don't you just write it down? And I was like, what you mean? He was like, I don't know. He was like, go buy you a journal or something and start writing it down so you can get it out, because you still aren't ready to talk to me, because I wasn't. But he knew it was something going on. He was like, you don't want to let me in. And so he suggested that I start journaling. So I did. I bought a journal. couple of journals, and I just started journaling, and I just started, getting out my feelings, writing about how people have made me feel in my life, people that have abandoned me, who weren't there for me, who didn't protect me, who didn't keep me safe, and I started forgiving people, because then I started, let me tell you the miraculous thing about journaling. So my mother, I had to put her in there, because when I was being molested, she's one of the people that I feel like didn't protect me. She didn't keep me safe. And when I was journaling about that time in my life, and I was writing about, as a little girl, how I felt when I'm coming to you and I'm telling you this is happening to me, and you're telling me, well, you got to go back to the babysitters because I ain't got nobody else to keep you, and I got to go to work. At the time, as a little girl, I'm feeling like, I just told you what's happening to me at this house. But now, as a grown woman, and understanding that my mom probably had some of her own unhealed trauma, I'm like, what was she supposed to do, though? If she has to go to work, she has to take care of you, she has to feed you. Yeah, she put you in harm's way, but was she supposed to lose her job? It's like I took a different perspective, and I was able to see things from her standpoint. So I forgave her.
Right.
Mom, I forget it. She's not here. She's deceased, and she was deceased at this time. So I had a conversation with her while she's in heaven, and I was like, Mom, I forgive you. I forgave you before you left here, but now that I can see the other side of it now, as I'm writing it out, I can actually see how you may have been torn, and maybe there were parts of her that did suffer from having to take me over there, and knowing that I might be being, in harm's way, but not having much of a choice to make. I don't know what she went through. So I was able to forgive her. So journaling helped me to forgive everybody, because I realized that for the most part, everybody is dealing with something. Everybody has trauma, and people can only love you. People can only care for you from the vantage point that they have at that point in their life. And if people haven't healed or tried to heal, then they're going to be caring and loving from you from a hurtful place, because that's all they know.
Now, do I hear a book in your future?
I started writing one.
I know. How did I know?
I started writing one.
How many journals do you have, and how many chapters is it going to be?
I know. I've been writing this book since before Speak Sister. I started writing the book before I did the journals. I can't finish it. I have not been able to, and I don't know what that's about yet. So I'm still working on that. It's not about not wanting to share my voice. I think I'm still a little protective of the people that may be in the book. You know what I'm saying? And they're not, some of them are not here to defend themselves. My mom is not here. Right. And I don't want to put something in there, and she's not here to give her side. So that kind of hinders me a little bit. But then again, it's my story. Exactly. So yeah. So exactly. I don't know.
Let me encourage you to go ahead and write that book.
Okay.
Go on and endeavor in writing that book, because you may still have some work that you need to do.
Yeah, that's
true. What I'm saying?
That's true.
So maybe it would be cathartic for you to go ahead and write the book. It doesn't mean it has to be published the exact same way that you wrote it.
Yeah.
But, after editing and what have you, you'll have a solid piece of work that could speak to so many, Kim. That could speak to so many. So don't be hesitant. Don't hold back on yourself. Yeah. Let your voice be heard, because so many of us need people like you in our lives.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me encourage you to do that.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I do. I really do believe in you. I mean, I've believed in you since the first time I met you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I'll go back and pick it back up. I have to, when I'm writing though, I have to be in a space to write. And I think right now, because I'm so happy in my, like, I write so well when I'm in pain. It is so weird. But I can,
It just pours out.
When I'm in pain, I can write. And it's been a little hard, a little more difficult, because I am in such a happy space. And I think a part of me is kind of like, I don't want to go down that road. I don't been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? So to go back, and I don't know, I think that's what's hindering me. I'm not saying I won't write the book, I will, excuse me, I will go back and pay it another visit. But I'm just giving you why I haven't touched it, because I'm just like, I'm so happy that I don't even reside in that energy anymore, where all of
Totally
that hurt
understand.
and pain. Yeah.
Totally understandable. Doesn't mean that where you left the book at doesn't mean that's where you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have already overstepped that boundary, that area. You've
Mm-hmm.
already looked at that, and that's in the past.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the book can be about your now and your future.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have thought about that. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
'Cause
I mean,
it will show, I feel like it'll show people how you can overcome, how you can get
absolutely.
through, and how life can really be great. Life really can. You won't be in this pain and this,
And
forever. Yeah.
yep, exactly, exactly. And I think you have something to give to us, Kim. I
Oh,
think you do. I feel you do. I feel in my heart right now. I feel you do. And I'm feeling you, girl. I'm feeling you. Yes, yes.
okay.
You know,
I will go back and look
a,
at it.
a story of triumph
Mm-hmm.
over adversity. And I don't care how many books, self-help books are out there. Yours is one more voice as an author that we need to hear.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I will. You
Revisit,
convinced me. I will go
revisit.
back. I will. I
I
absolutely will.
look. I pick it up.
Okay. Thank you.
Long as you sign it, I pick
I
it
will
up.
sign it. I sign my journals too. So,
Okay,
let me
good.
tell you a little bit about the journals. So, my journals aren't just regular journals like empty pages that you
Hmm.
just fill up. The very first one that I created is kind of like that. But then when I got to the second one and the third one, so the second one that I created is geared towards young women between the ages of 17 and 26,
Hmm.
because to me that's a pivotal, well, a little earlier than that, 16,
Hmm.
because that's a pivotal age to me, when young women, young girls are learning themselves. They're learning about, relationships, friendships, boyfriends, and all that kind of stuff. And I realized that I was a little naive when I was a young girl, which is, I feel like, led me into the date rape situation,
Okay.
because I was a little naive. And so it's a writing prompt, and I geared it specifically towards that age group. So it has questions in there, questions to make you think, and
Hmm.
questions to make you aware, and questions to just help you to kind of, you know, see life a little bit, just to see life for life. So that's my second journal. Is for my college girls, or
Okay.
my college age. Yeah. And then my third journal is for women, and it's also a writing prompt with questions and stuff. And these questions are more geared to being a woman, a
Hmm.
feminine woman.
Hmm.
And and I just ask questions to make you think. One of my questions in my journal is, what would you want your obituary to say? And I remember somebody asked me, why did you put that in there? I'm like, because unless you know what you want your obituary to say, how are you living your life? What do
Hmm.
you want people to say about you once you're gone?
Right.
That's going to help you see, how am I living my life? What do I want people to say in my obituary? What do I want, or I think I said, write your obituary or something.
Hmm.
But that's one of my questions. And somebody was like, girl, that's deep. And I was like, because it makes you think about how you're living your life now. How are you treating people? What are you doing? What impact are you leaving in this world for people to have something to say in your obituary, at your
Hmm.
funeral, yeah. So
That's beautiful, baby. That's
thank
really beautiful. Sending you
you.
love, model love, Lanitra,
Hey,
model love,
sincere.
sister doll, sincere. Love you, girl. But that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think that's a very good question. How do you want to be perceived once you're gone?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I've just personally experienced loss in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Losing my youngest son,
Mm-hmm.
and watching him go through what he had to go through with Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS, and being his caregiver for the last year and 6 months of his life. I
Mm-hmm.
understand what what you're saying there,
Yeah.
because that was a question we needed to know if he even wanted an obituary,
Yeah.
you know. And he didn't want all the rigmarole. He didn't
Yeah.
want all the funeral. He wanted to be cremated, and from the hospital to the cremation, and that's exactly what he got.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but we had to be sure, you know, because he was so sick, you know, and he had paid for his own funeral 2 years ago. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so he knew the end was coming.
Yeah.
You know, but it was about how he got there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my son was very evil in the end, very evil,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very, very, very painful and very, very, very hurtful. And even now, thinking back on, unfortunately, that experience with him is still raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
It
know,
just,
it
yeah.
doesn't mean that I have not forgiven. You know, I've forgiven to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
I just it's still raw in my head, and
It's
I
a
still get.
process. And
It's a
I mean, it
process.
just,
Absolutely.
it's still, it's new. It just happened. It's not like we're
Hmm.
talking years, and even if we were talking years, everybody's healing is different.
That's
So
right.
even if we were talking years, okay, I'm still healing. I'm still dealing with it, So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
don't be hard on yourself.
I'm being very honest and open and transparent here. You
Yeah,
know, I'm angry.
yeah,
I'm angry.
yeah.
You know,
And
because of
as
the
a life
treatment.
coach, as a certified life coach, I'm going to tell you own those feelings
Oh,
because yeah, it's when we deny or when we try to tell ourselves, or I know for me, I used to feel like, oh, I'm so wrong for having these feelings, like especially with my mom when
mm-hmm,
we were kind of, because we didn't have the best relationship because, I always blamed her for putting me in harm's way. And so as I became a teenager and a young adult, we didn't have the best relationship. And I used to always be like, I'm so wrong because I had older people telling me that's still your mama. That's still
mm-hmm,
your mama. You need to love your mama. And so I wore a lot of guilt because I'm like, I don't like this woman right now. I don't know how to love her like y'all are telling me to. And I tried. But then at some point when I started, working on, trying to heal myself, I realized I was like, you know what? It's okay to feel how I feel.
thank you.
Yes. And I'm not going to deny it because the more I try to deny it, I'm lying not only to myself, but I'm lying to her. I'm
Mm-hmm,
not genuine with our relationship when I'm over here smiling in your face. I don't really want to smile in your face right now. I'm still mad with you.
mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
I
Yeah, we
mean,
have to.
I accept where I am,
Mhm.
and if other people don't get it, they just don't get
They
it,
don't get it. And and
and it's okay.
and
You know.
I was gonna say you have to get that's that tough skin. You have to get to that place because I had to realize because some of my family didn't get it, and I was like, you know what, I don't care if y'all don't understand. If you
Mm-hmm,
don't understand, y'all see the dynamic between me and my mother. Okay, so you and your mom, my cousin, for instance, you and your mom have a wonderful relationship. I wish we had that, but we don't, and it is what it is.
mm-hmm.
We'll get through it in our own way, and thank God. God is so good
Absolutely.
because He gave my mom and I time to heal our relationship before she left
Oh,
here. Yep, He gave her time to tell me her story. And just as I had thought, my mom had been through her own trauma as
mm-hmm,
a child. And
mm-hmm.
basically she didn't know how she didn't know how to be a mother. And she said that. She was like, I know I messed up. I know. And that right there made me forgive everything. But I had already kind of forgiven her
Right.
because when I had my children, I saw her turn up and be the best grandmother. Like
Mm-hmm,
just her relationship with my children. I was like, you know what? It don't even matter how you was with me. You the best grandmama I could have ever have asked for my children. I
mm-hmm,
forgive you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I
Totally.
feel like that was her way of kind of making up to me too. Okay, I wasn't there for you, but I'm gonna be here for my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It worked, and it worked for you all in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I went through some similar things with my own mother, who's still alive. You know, and we talk about it quite often. You know, how
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have a good solid relationship in my teenage years and my early 20s and what have you. You know, how we were just at each other. You know, because we are so much alike.
Yeah.
But you can't separate us now. You know, people always, often, quite often, matter of fact, at least anytime we're out together, we get, y'all must be sisters,
Mm-hmm.
because we look exactly alike. I
Oh.
mean, exactly alike. And and if my daughter my son's twin sister, if she was around us, then we'd be considered triplets because we all look exactly alike. My
Oh, that's
son looked like
beautiful.
us, except he was chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
know,
beautiful.
so I understand where you're coming from with that. And I had to forgive my mother. You
Mm-hmm.
In our relationship and our butting heads and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
I had to forgive her and she had to forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
In order for us to have the relationship we have now.
Yeah.
I call it loving past the hurt. That's just
Yeah.
like with my son. I had to love past the hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was his caregiver. I was his primary caregiver. And
Mm-hmm.
as much as he was cussing me out and calling me everything under the sun that God wouldn't even repeat across his sweet lips, trust me, I had to love beyond the hurt.
Yeah.
When you're getting up at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning to be a caregiver and to turn them and take care of them, and he's still cussing you out
Yeah.
in the wee hours of the morning, you have to love past the
That's
hurt.
here.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's all a part of growth. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, I think it's imperative that we take the time to recognize those things within ourselves.
Yeah.
And being in this type of industry, you've got to have a thick skin one way or the other, or you in the
Mm-hmm.
wrong industry.
Yeah.
You know, how do you feel about, on better note, how do you feel about modeling?
I love it. I love modeling. I always wanted to be a model when I was a teenager. I
Mm-hmm.
went to Barbizon for a little while, but my mom couldn't afford for me to stay there, so I had to kind of drop out. But I always had, wanted to be a model. And so when the opportunity came up, especially at my age, I was like, yes, I want to model. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing I will tell you is a huge confident builder.
Yes.
Like modeling, you have to tap into something deep inside of you and bring some confidence out to
Oh,
walk a runway with a room full of people. And then not only to walk the runway, but to actually walk it in the model fashion, in a model form, and just, yeah. So I love modeling though. I do.
where did you pick up your modeling skills? How did you pick up your skills?
I didn't know what I was doing. Terry helped me. Terry
Mm-hmm.
trained. Terry
Terry,
Terry helped me with my walk.
Terry who?
Stevens.
Thank you.
Terry Stevens of Sunny Bees Boutique.
Absolutely.
Yep. When we first started working with OPE,
Mm-hmm.
he started working with the OPE models, showing us how to walk and how to, our back and all, that kind of stuff, hold our heads and that kind of stuff. Because I didn't know what I was doing before that. And then from there, I still watch runway shows. I
Mm-hmm.
watch all the designers like Fendi, um, all the designers. But yeah, so I watch a lot of runway shows, um, and I watch the models. You bring me water. You bring me water.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry, my phone rang. It's on Do Not Disturb. I don't know when your phone is not on Do Not Disturb, it will kick you out.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that's it rang, and it shouldn't have rang because it's on Do Not Disturb. So anyway, as we were saying, you love modeling, and Terry Stevens is the one who helped you with your walk.
Mhm.
Did you find your model sisters helping you?
Yeah, that's why I say I feel like we're a family because everybody has, been helpful. And if I have questions, everybody has been willing to help me, show me things and that kind of stuff. So I've gotten a lot of help.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember where I first met you, which was V Nix's show.
Which one?
But,
Lemonade?
hmm,
Lemonade?
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for the model
Yeah,
call.
for the model call.
Yes.
And you were so intimidated.
I was intimidating.
Yeah, no, you were so intimidated.
Oh, intimidated.
You were kind of nervous,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you've come so far. You've come
Yeah.
so
Thank
far,
you.
sweetie,
Yeah. I,
and you've
I
done
was.
you did well. If you hadn't done well.
Look, let me tell you what's funny about that. I didn't think I had made it right because remember, I think she said she was going to let us know in a few days or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think I had made it. And so I told Mia Williams, I texted her and I said, I know it's past the time, so I'm sure I didn't make it, but you let Miss Vivian know I'm going to walk for her one day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was determined to want to walk for her because I love Miss Vivian. So yeah.
Yeah, and then we walked Lemonade, and then we went to the other show that was in Forest Park. Then we walked that show too.
Oh, the canned good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
we walked that show together too, and I just saw you blossom. You just blossomed, sweetie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Did you pick up any tips from any of your model sisters? How you turn, how you stand?
Definitely with posing. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on that. Like my posing and just, when you get to the end of the runway, just posing and that kind of stuff. So that's still an area that I need to kind of work on. But yeah, I've gotten a lot of tips and I pay attention to people.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch, how people, how they walk, not to emulate, but
Right.
just to learn, just to see, so yeah.
Well, cool. I think that's fabulous. Okay, you have a show coming up October 5th. No Heels to Heal.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, that is I am a testimony.
Mm-hmm. John
And
McClug.
uh John
John
McClure.
McClug.
Yep. And we're going to be in Tennessee. I think it's in Tennessee.
No, North
No,
Carolina.
it's in North Carolina. That's right. So yeah, we're gonna be in North Carolina. And basically I like the way that he's doing it. Because we actually will be walking to our own personal testimony, video recorded personal testimony. And I just think that's amazing. So yeah.
That's going to be wonderful. John is
And this will be
always,
my first out of state fashion
oh,
show.
yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Well, what a better person to walk with, especially in I Am a Testimony merchandise. I mean,
Yes.
his stuff is so nice.
It's so nice.
It
Yes.
is so nice, and it
Yeah.
fits so well,
Mhm.
and it looks so good on. And that big I Am a Testimony
Yeah.
all over you, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
It is fabulous. I love rocking John's gear.
Yes.
John McClug, we love you.
We love you. We love
We
you.
love you, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing, Oh, before that, you have the Fats Give Back Gala coming up
Mhm.
on Saturday,
On Saturday. Yep.
and you're walking that show.
I'm walking that show. Mm-hmm.
Girl,
Yep.
you're busy.
Booked and busy.
Booked and busy. And
I
I ain't
love
mad
it.
at you, sis. I ain't mad at you.
I love it.
Well, I'll see you there. I'll definitely see
Okay.
you there. I'm one of the honorees. So
Okay.
I won't be.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so humbled by the fact that Fats Foundation has chosen me chosen me as one of the honorees.
Yeah.
I really am humbled by that fact, and I'm being honored as a lupus fighter or lupus warrior.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I've been dealing with it for so long,
Yeah.
and I just refuse to lay down for my illness.
Yeah.
I just can't do
Yeah.
it.
Don't.
Just
Yeah.
won't do
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
So, that's part of my testimony as well,
You
but
can't tell.
oh, well, thank
You can't
you.
tell in
I work
any
really
kind of
hard.
way.
Do you know how hard it is?
You're doing it and you make it look good. So
Thank you, sweetie. I take I'm up to 40 pills in the morning, and I take 10 at night
oh wow.
in
I
order
have
to
a
be
couple
able
of
to
friends
move.
that have lupus, and from their journey, I know the toll that it can take. One of my friends, she she can be in and out the hospital at periodic times,
Mhm.
So I do know the toll that it takes.
Yeah, it does. It takes a toll, and it's also mentally challenging.
Mhm.
And as a mental health patient, I'll be first one to say, yes, I'm bipolar 1 and 2. I
Mhm.
mixed episode bipolar,
Mhm.
and but I'm medicated for it, and I take my medicine diligently,
Yeah.
so I don't have those extremes going on in my head or with me on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But it has taken so long to figure out the correct combination for me to
Mhm.
be even killed as I am.
Yeah.
Because you guys will never know when I'm in pain. Those that
Mhm.
are closer to me, my model sisters that are closer to me, that know me, they know.
Mhm.
But I don't complain about it. It's not something. If I'm having a bad day, nobody would ever know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody, because I'm not there to have a bad day. I'm there
Yeah.
to uplift and bring forward and do something fabulous on
Mhm.
that runway.
Mhm.
So that's what I try to bring. Model love, baby. Model
Not a
love.
love, not a love. Exactly.
Model
Yes.
love always.
Yep.
Well, I want to know, what are your final thoughts on what we've talked about? What do you have to bring for us?
Well, I would like to say thank you for having me on your platform.
You're more than welcome.
And I think this was an amazing conversation. I think, for anybody that watched, I think there's something that, everybody can resonate with and possibly take some things away from it. And so, yeah, I think it was really good. Thank you.
Well,
Because
thank
I was kind of a little flabbergasted because of the weather and being in traffic,
you. Mm-hmm.
trying to get home to make it. And I was just kind of like, well, maybe I can't do it tonight. But there's another thing about God. When he calls you to do something and you
Mm-hmm.
answer the calling, you don't tell him no, you do it. So when you was like, you can do it, and I was like, you know what, I can. And I'm glad I did it, because yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did too. I truly appreciate you being on. I look forward to seeing how you're going to step on that runway and do your thing. I look forward to your book that I
Okay.
know is going to be coming next year this time.
Okay.
You, I'm giving you a time.
I
I'm
see
putting you in
that.
a
You
time
giving me
frame.
a deadline.
You're going to get it in. You're going to get
Okay.
it in. And I can't wait to see what else you accomplish, Kim.
Thank you. I can't wait either.
You're growing forward, baby. You're growing forward. Thank you for being who you are and what you bring, and thank you for the humility that you bring to the table as well. I appreciate all your humbleness, and the fact is, you are every woman just like I am, baby.
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, we are who we are,
We are.
and I truly appreciate you being here tonight.
Okay. Thank
Welcome
you.
to Modelz Talk. Let's talk about it.